I think one of the things I struggle with when it comes to like creating art, and this is where like my entrepreneurialism kind of really sabotages my creative space. In creative space, there's no real logical reason why. The world doesn't need another musician. It doesn't need another writer. It doesn't need another whatever necessarily, like technically speaking. So it's hard for me sometimes, at least that's how I look at it. It's like, okay, well, I'm writing this book on the 4-hour work week and what it's like to actually build one over the course of a decade, right? That's the idea of the book. And it's like, does anybody care?
Just for fun, I'm going to completely disagree with you and say, yeah, the world does need great fiction and it does need good artists.
I think it's the most important thing that the world does need, for the record. However, in the entrepreneurial brain, it's like, well, does it really need that? Maybe what it needs is a better piece of software to manage musicians' ability to produce content more often.
Okay, so that's your normal modality kicking in.
Yeah, my normal mode is problems, statistics, data, create a product to solve the problem, make money, repeat, right? Mm-hmm. And in that process, the creativity side can often get in the way. Yeah, there's no soul in that. Just because you solved the problem, just because you did a better math problem, doesn't mean that your anima was involved. Doesn't mean that your creativity, your essence, spiritual life was involved in the problem solving. It just means that you solved the problem better. You were more left hemisphere, if you will. So for me, that's what I really struggle with is like, I do think that the world does need good musicians more than ever. I think that the fact that the school systems don't have like the fact they put so much emphasis on STEM and not enough emphasis on, art, especially fine art, the kind of art that you really have to get good at to be able to do sculpting, painting, stuff like that. But yeah, I really do struggle a lot with not over analyzing the purpose or the immediate use or the monetary value of the art I'm making. Does that make sense? So now I'm on chapter 11 of that story. It's just continued on. But now it's like I'm getting into it and it's starting to get murky and fuzzy and kind of weird and maintaining a level of humor, but at the same time trying to educate and get people to kind of come with me on the journey. So there's a lot of this, like, I'm going to educate you on the process of algorithms, or I'm going to educate you on the sales cycle or sales processes or data or analytics or, branding structure. Like I'm going to so the book is designed to basically teach you everything you need to know, but in a cynical Fight Club format.
Fiction for me is actually like more difficult to read than nonfiction. Like if I pick up some heady nonfiction thing that's some smarty pants book, like I have no problem with that if I'm interested in it. When it's fiction, even if I like it, it's almost like exhausting to read. Not in a bad way. It's just I think it uses more of your brain. So
did you enjoyed what I wrote? You knew that it was autobiographical on some levels.
I figured it had to be, yeah. It sounded like he knew way too much about that scene for it to be speculative. Yeah.
So you didn't mind the kind of creative structuring, like you didn't mind some of the fictitious structuring within the autobiographical setting?
Oh, no, not at all. And I don't mean to say like I don't like fiction. It's actually more the opposite. I have more reverence for fiction in general, because I just think it's a greater endeavor, especially if done well with like a purpose, than to write like a how-to book or this is my story. This is what happened to me. I think to be able to make it a work of fiction, you're going to create something that's more relatable. I think that's maybe more transcendent.